Very good evening to all of you. Hope you can hear me. Can someone confirm me that you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right,
hear
okay.
you.
Good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Very good
evening,
evening.
sir.
So we'll keep our all mics muted. I hear a background noise. So guys, just double check whether your microphone is muted. And whenever you want to talk, you can unmute and talk, or you can send a small message through the chat. Okay, so that's the rule. Nikhil, can you turn off your mic, please? Thank you. All right, good. We are good to go. Right, so we'll catch up what we have discussed the other day within 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll move on. Okay. Let me share the screen. First of all, I know there are one or two students. I think I shouldn't say students. There are two guys who have joined today, I think, and I'm sure they have gone through the video of the first week. If not, please do so. I'll try my level best to accommodate them and also to refresh, to explain them what we have discussed. Mostly the theories, of course, the background of BEAM, and then we just started the software, right? We have done zooming, right, and how to create a project, how to create building within the project, and then we discuss about how to upload a drawing, right? PDF, AutoCAD, or any JPG, anything. We learn how to do that. So we'll quickly go through that, and then we'll move on. So I'll turn off the video for more clarity. And let me share the screen. Right, so this is what we have discussed the other day. Right. Quickly we will go through. You don't need to. Okay, we had a bit of interaction about Tibet campus and role of CostX in the third bullet point is the most important part because that is your area, right? CostX role in BIM environment. What is BIM? We have many discussed. And before that, we have learned about different licensing options, standalone, portable, and network licensing. And then various products, right? You have the CostX Complete here. Let me check the laser pointer. CostX Complete, and then you have various other products like CostX Core and CostX Quantify. Right? Depending on your requirement, the composition of your QSs in your office or in the project, you can order a combination of these products. So this is the most expensive product. And then you have this, if you want to have the server version of CostX Complete, right, you can talk to them and get a quotation from there. So you don't need the entire version for all the QSs in an office or in a project. So you can have a combination of these products. Remember that, and then we discuss about why we are learning CostX, and then especially the BIM, right? The CostX role in BIM, and then we discuss about why BIM has come into play. There are three aspects contributed to the introduction of the building information modeling, which has a 3D model, and then we add on certain dimensions based on other software, right? So we call it as the BIM dimensions. So the first one was, of course, there was a change in approach in construction, especially in the UK, being fragmented nature to more collaborative approach, right? So we discussed about Egan reports and then Latham reports in the UK, and they have suggested or they have recommended certain changes to be done in the UK construction industry in 1990s, right? So with that recommendation, plus there has been a lot of development in the IT field, plus there's there's a grown what do you call, let's say, interest on sustainability concepts in the world. So combining all three uh, aspects, right? The people opted to do projects with the use of a 3D model. So that is what we call as a BIM. Okay, so BIM is basically, yeah. If you simplify BIM, we have 2D drawings and 2D AutoCAD drawings, basically CAD drawings. And then what we are doing is we replace this 2D drawing with a 3D model, right? So everyone is contributing to the 3D model, and then we do whatever we want to do discipline wise with the 3D model. So what we do is basically, let's say if you have something like Revit to build up the 3D model, and then quantity surveys will have CostX to abstract quantities from the 3D model and do their cost management part. And then facility manager will have their piece of software to do whatever he wants to do during the operations of the building. And the HVAC engineer will have to use the 3D model and then include his HVAC design in the model. So likewise, and the project, let's say planner or the project manager will have to do their planning part using the 3D model. So they will have different software doing different things, but the pivotal point is the 3D model created by the team. So automatically, this messy communication will become much simpler, and then all of a sudden people will start working collaboratively rather than in a fragmented way. So that's what we discussed. And then these are the dimensions concepts. It's not actual dimensions other than the 3D. 3D is actual dimensions: length, width, sorry, length, height, and width, XYZ, right? 4D means there's no XYZ and another axis. What we are saying is if you have 3D model and another software that can do the planning part, then we say we are running on 4D BIM model in the project. And if you can add something like CostX into the same environment, so you have the 3D modeling plus the planning part. For that, you have a separate BIM software, example, Stringco 4D. And then you have something like CostX to do the cost management part, right? Then we say we are running on 5D model. So likewise, you can introduce so many models, dimensions to the BIM environment, but then you have to strike the balance because we all know these softwares are very expensive, right? And number of licenses you have to buy because it's not only the main contractor and the engineer or the employer. You have a whole supply chain working on this BIM software, at least the key suppliers and key subcontractors, right? In that case, of course, you need to spend a lot of money on the software. That's why you need to understand how, okay, what is the BIM model or what is the dimension that we need to work in a particular project, right? So same thing here, dimensions. And then this is what we call as the life cycle of a project. I'm not going to explain. And then these are the potential software that can be used at different intervals in a project, okay, during the life cycle of a project, including the facility management part, right? Like ArchiFM, FM is facility management here. So you have different software to do different things at different stages of the life cycle costing. We'll discuss all this. Then CostX features, of course, we will be going through all these features. That is the main part of the course anyway. I'm not going to explain them again. Okay, just for the benefit of newcomers, I should say you have 2D takeoff also inbuilt into CostX, right? Its main objective or its main part is, of course, 3D. We can't say it measurement, 3D quantity abstraction or 3D quantity harvesting, right? That is the main job of CostX. But since we are moving into like 3D from 2D, we are still working with 2D drawings. Therefore, CostX has designed in a way that it can also measure from the 2D drawing, right? So that's what we are going to learn here in the course 2D plus 3D. And you can use AutoCAD drawings or any JPEG, which is a kind of a photo, or you can even use PDF drawing to measure from. So 2D is capable, sorry, CostX is capable of measuring from any of these files because CostX is built on a particular file type called IFC files. So it can read and exchange data with so many other types of files. So we call this property as interoperability. Interoperability, if you can remember. Yeah, interoperability. Then 3D design is always coming with something called parametric objects. Because we don't draw anything in AutoCAD, such as in AutoCAD. So what we do is we get the computer to generate the objects. So when you click on one of these objects, it will ask you what is the length and what is the width and what, okay. It will ask you the properties of that object. And when you define the properties, the computer will generate it for you rather than you draw it. So that is the difference between CAD system and parametric objects. So these are called intelligent model. Therefore, CAD system is called unintelligent model. You can get the computer to generate objects rather than draw it. Okay, so that is the thing. And then we looked at the BIM definition. BIM representation of digital representation of physical and functional characteristics of a facility. It's not only about buildings, it is about any facility. I hear an echo. Somebody has logged in two devices. Anisha, can you right? Can I ask you to mute your microphone, Anisha Abhikrama? Thank you. Right. So, yeah. So BIM is a digital representation of physical and functional characteristics of a facility. That means it can be a bridge, or it can be a water network, or it can be any a warehouse or anything. It's not all about building all the time. Okay. And shared knowledge, resources for information about it and forming reliable basis for decision during its life cycle from earliest conception to demolition. So BIM is not only the construction phase, so it gives the solution from the inception to the demolition of the building. Right. So we discuss all these things, and then we discuss about, okay, 2D takeoff is possible, 3D quantity harvesting is possible. You can abstract the quantity from 3D model, and then you can prepare the BOQ. So we call it as workbook. It's like a spreadsheet based workbook. I will show you all these things, don't worry. And with excellent traceability and export dimension to Excel. So you can export your working to Excel, but not in the educational version, in the commercial version, right? So you can import your CostX file into Excel and then work, right? Or the BOQ you can export to Excel and work, modify, right? And then it has another feature called auto revisioning. So you can compare two drawings very quickly and understand what has been changed from the previous version to the current version. Okay, so that is called auto revisioning. So we'll be covering all of this, and subcontractor comparison is only possible in the commercial version. Uh, the student version will not give this facility because otherwise people will use this for commercial purposes, right? So we will not be able to demonstrate this part, uh, the subcontractor comparison, but I can explain what is subcontractors comparison at the end of the course. And then you can generate reports, various reports. I will demonstrate all of them, okay? Right, so that is about uh, an introduction about CostX, and then we went on to the software. So those who are not there on the first day, you can just click on this icon, or you can go to the Windows and say CostX, right? And then you can load CostX, or you can pin this one. You can say now since I have already pinned to start button here, that it says like unpin from the start. Not otherwise, it will show as pin to start. You just click on that, it will appear here. So you just load the CostX from here. Right. So you start with a new project, as I said before. If you are doing for the first time, you start with new project, but it does not allow in the educational license or educational version. It says you can't create a new project. So they have given us to work with to work on a project called default project. That's why you can say here. You can see default project is here, right? So you can't start with a new project. So you have to start, or you have to go with the default project that they have already provided within the software. Then you can create a new project. That's what we did. New project called accommodation building here, right? So you have created a new project called, now you can't do anything because we have done in the educational version, you can only create 3 projects, right? So I need to delete if I have to introduce another one. Anyway, since we have already uh, created a new project within the default project, I'm going to open that one. Okay, I hope everyone has followed up to that point, and I select this one. A default project building type is let's say concrete. Name is accommodation building substructure, whatever. And that is the information you have given when you create, or when you created the new building under the default project. So you select this one and you start with this. And then I have showed you, or I have demonstrated how to add drawings to the new project that you have already, sorry, new building that you have already created. Now you can see when you created the building, it will appear here. Now you can see you are within this accommodation building folder within CostX, right? So accommodation building. Remember, you don't have to save this one for any reason, because this is like on time saved already. nothing is going to less. If you just, let's say, right, if you just, let's say you close and open after working some time, so nothing is going to be, nothing is going to be lost. So you don't have a save button here, unlike in other software like MS Project or MS Excel or Word, you have a saving button, correct? You don't have to do anything like here because it is automatically saved. Even if, let's say, power is off, for some reason, you are not going to lose any data. So that is the beauty of this software. And all the backups, so whatever the workings that you are doing is saved within CostX, not anywhere else. It will be saved as a CostX file. That's why we are creating this folder structure. So the folder is default project we have been they have created already for us. And then we have created a building called accommodation building. Okay, so we are working within that accommodation building. And then when we added the drawing, we have created certain folders like test one, or if you want, let's say substructure, superstructure. So you can decide your folder structure on your own. Anyway, we'll be going into details as we proceed with the measurements. Now I have showed you how to add drawings through this drawings add drawings, right? Drawings add drawing. That is where you can add drawings. You just draw. You select a particular drawing and it will be added here. Right, so that's what we discussed. And then we discussed how to add PDF drawing, multiple PDF drawings, and then how to add an AutoCAD drawing. And then also we have done, we have added JPEG or JPEG drawing also. And then we discuss certain functions here. Right, certain functions we discuss. One is, of course, zooming and then panning. Right, we can use, you can select any of the drawing because we have added then. Now this is the PDF. This is an AutoCAD. This is also AutoCAD model, as far as I can remember. Right, and then we have added a PDF from a multiple PDF sheets. Right, we have done all these things, so I'm not going to repeat that one. And now we will be going through today, since we have already done the zooming and rotate, right? We'll be going through some other functions as well. For example, yeah, last time we did the panning and zooming basically, right? With various methods, panning and zooming. Okay, so if you take panning, right, you hold your mouse wheel, you lock your mouse wheel, and then you just move it up and down, or this way, horizontal or vertical or angle. You just lock the mouse wheel. Keep your finger on the mouse wheel, don't rotate it, and then just move the mouse. Yeah, that is panning, correct? You can use this part also, right? You can use these sliders also. And then we used arrow keys, correct? We use arrow keys for the panning also. Right, now zooming, you can see here, you have zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, okay? That is using the icons. The other one is, of course, now you can use your mouse wheel and then rotate inward and outward. Rotate inward and outward. So that is what we call as zooming. Zooming in, zooming out, like on AutoCAD or any other most of the software, it will be the same, right? And then if you need kind of a zoom area, you click on that and you can zoom that particular area, selected area. And if you want to go back, right, we have something called reset view. We go back to where we were. That is the original view. So I think those are the things that we discussed. Now we'll move forward from here. Right. Okay. And then using the shortcuts or the keyboard, how to zoom? Control plus, correct? Control plus, control minus, control plus. You can just put, actually speaking, you don't have to use even control. You can just put minus and plus. That is also possible. Right. Zooming and zooming out. Right. So those are the functions that we have just discussed. Now we will learn about rotating this one. You know it is there using the icon. Okay, these are the new stuff. So we have done zooming, we have done panning, right? Using any of the drawings that you have uploaded. You can do this one. Same function. Okay, irrespective of the file type, right? The same function will do the job. Okay, now we are going to learn about rotation. How to rotate? It's very similar. If you want to rotate 90-degree from here, right, you can use these icons 90, right, and 180 or 270, right. It will give you kind of a rotated view when you click on that, right. If you want to go back, you can do that. So you go to 180 and say reset. You go back where you were, correct. You can understand. So the reset view is very important if you want to go back to original position. Otherwise, you can use this 90, 180, 270 icons to rotate the drawing. How, okay, okay. Is there any other method that you can rotate a drawing? This is PDF, anything, this is the case. How to rotate it? Right, so this is easy. Right, now we'll go back to your study material, if you can remember here. Not this one, the other one. Yeah. So these are the shortcuts. Rotate. Right click the mouse, drawing and window and select rotate, then choose one of the available rotate. Okay. So what you can do is you right click and you can rotate now. Now you can do the same thing with zoom area, right? Reset view, right? So you can use some of the functions when you right click here. You can rotate the drawing like what we have discussed. So you don't have to use these icons here. You can use the same thing when you rotate, sorry, when you right click on the drawing and say rotate by 90. Right click, rotate by 180. Right click, rotate by 270. And then if you don't like, go back to where you were. Reset view. Reset view can be done from here also. You can see here, you have reset view as well here. Right? Let's say you want to zoom area and then reset view. Okay, can you practice this little bit? Right, since you have already uploaded drawings, you can select any drawing, whether it is AutoCAD or whether even this one is fine, JPEG. I want to show you something here. This is very special because you can see this is not very horizontal. Somebody has taken a photo, little inclined. It is not exactly on the X and Y axis, correct? It is inclined. So how do you handle this kind of situation? I'll explain in a minute, but before that you go to this PDF and I want you to rotate the drawing using these icons here, or right click and using this dialog box like 90, 80, 180, 280, 270. Can you do that? So that is using the mouse. This is using the icon. So rotate 180, for example, and then zoom it and see. Right? I'll give you a minute to do that. And do it again. Rotate by another 180 and you are back to original position, isn't it? Original position in respect of rotation. Right, and then if you want, you can zoom in, zoom out using the mouse wheel. And then panning, you lock the mouse wheel and then move. Okay. Right. How to rotate using the keyboard now? How to rotate this one using the keyboard? It's here. You don't have to by heart any of this, right? And you don't have to remember all the methods. It says click on any 90, 180. Okay. Sorry, keyboard here. Alternate key in DW followed by R1 for 90, R2 for 180. So you don't have to remember. I will show you Alt DW R1. Let's try. Okay, you press Alt key and type DW. You can see what's happening on the top, right? Again, I will put the escape. Again, Alt DW, Alt DW, right? And then R1. Again, Alt DW, R, capital R1. You understand? I will do it again. I'll put the escape or control Z. Control Z will not work with the PDF anyway. Okay, I'll go to reset. Okay, now again, if you want to rotate by 90-degree using keyboard, right? Follow me. Alt, you don't have to hold the key. Alt, just type Alt, just press Alt. Okay. DW, capital R or R, just R1. Again, Alt DW R2, that is 180. Alter DW R3, that is 270. Alter DW R4. Alter DW R. I think it is up to R3. That's all. You can see here R1, R2, R3. If you want to go back, you have to use the reset value. Now you can see from here, when I put alter DW, you can see here and R1, R2 is appearing here. So you just type R1 here, so you get 90-degree rotation. If you put R2 here, you get 180. So it gives you a clue here. As soon as you put Alt DW, it appears here. So we'll try it again. Okay, follow me. Now you are here. Anyway, this is not a very famous or we can say commonly used function in CostX. Just for your knowledge, because you can rotate anyway, and I always use the right click. Okay, or use this. That is the best. You don't have to remember this, but okay, now you follow. You hit Alt DW. You don't have to press it. You just press Alt DW. Now you can see when you put R1, right? R1, you get a rotation of R1. If you put ZA, you get zoom area, right? If you get hide all, you put LH, right? If you type RV, reset view, I'll put RV. Now you can see. So that is a very good shortcut because it will give you basically all the functions that you can use with your keyboard. So let us try again. Alt, sorry again, Alt DW. Now you can see these blue color marks appearing here. So those are the shortcuts. Those are the shortcuts. Zoom area, you just put ZA, right? And all the other functions, anyway, we'll come to know all these functions, don't worry. So I'm just concentrating on the rotation now. So if you want to put rotate the drawing by 180, you have to put R2. You have to type just R2. Whether it is simple or capital, it's okay. Just put R2. Okay, again, Alt DW. And let's say zoom in Z1. Sorry, ZI. So it is a universal function. Alt DW is kind of a shortcut for everything, right? As soon as you hit Alt DW, you can see all the shortcuts here, right? So we'll be learning all of them. Don't worry as we proceed. Right? Can you practice that Alt DW? And then since we are talking about rotation, you just type R1, right? It doesn't necessarily have to have a lowercase capital R1. You just put R1, you'll get 90-degree rotation. R2, 180, R3, 270. So you can try other functions as well. Here, ZI, ZO, right? Others you don't know already, so don't worry. You will get to know later, and then we'll practice this later. But for the moment, you can try zoom in, zoom out, and then rotation. Can you drop your message once you are done? I'm not very aware about the plan shift, so I'm not able to draw comparison with plan shift. Okay, Nikhil, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert with the plan shift, but I'm sure there will be common functions because all the software are based on certain principles. So I would expect some of the functions may be common with other software as well. I know a little bit about Bluebeam. Yeah, some of the Bluebeam functions are very similar to CostX functions, at least 2D measurements. Right, if you want to go back now, reset, zoom in, zoom out, rotate, we know. Now you can use a shortcut called Alt DW, and then you can use anything with this key. You can see the blue RV if you want. You can reset. R3 is rotation. ZO is zoom out. Now just type ZO, zoom out. Yeah, so that is about rotation. We learn about reset view, right? We learned about rotation. We learn about zooming. And I want to introduce here itself. Let's say you want to see something very frequently. Now, when you do in AutoCAD, you will know, right? Sometimes certain views will be, you should recall some of the views very frequently when you measure. Let's say this part, okay? And you want to view this very, I mean, like all the time. So what you do is you can save this view. Later on, you can recall that view. So that is called save view. You just click on this now. Just click on this. Let's say office plan or office area. You can save this view so that you can recall later. So you must be asking, okay, where it is saved now? So you have saved the view, yes, because you want to see the office all the time or frequently. You don't have to zoom in, zoom out to get it or get this located. So what you do? If this view is always usable during the measurement process or any other process, you can save it and keep it for you to recall it later. So where it is saved now, you say save view. Now I have already saved. I'm not going to um, do it again. So where it is saved, file save here. No, it is here. You can see it is here. Now go to views here. You are in the drawings tab. Remember, you are in the drawings tab. Okay, and then now you have here drawings, something called layers. I will come back to that in a minute, and then model and the views. So whatever the view that you have saved through this icon will be saved here, call office area. Now when you click on that, you will see this. Oh, I'll try it again. Go to reset view. Okay, now you are here. You're normally here, and if you want to recall that view, go there and click on that. So you can save whatever the views that you want to recall quickly, right? That will sometimes help in measurements. So you can save all the views here. Office area, staircase, toilet, for example, right? You name it, ramp or whatever, you can just save it here. And then there's another concept here. You will learn all the things. So that is to save the views, okay? We'll try another one. We'll save this area, middle one, or maybe a toilet. Okay. You want to zoom in, sorry, zoom area. Just you save this one because you want to see this frequently, and then save this view as toilet one. Okay. Can you follow me? It's a toilet. Okay, that is done. And you go back, and then let's say you want to see the toilet number 1, go to toilet. Right. So that is how you save the views in the CostX. Right. So we are just learning the basic functions of CostX. So we are still in the drawings tab here. So we started with adding drawings, and then right, we know we are in this tab here, and then we did little bit of rotation, zooming, panning, and all similar small functions here, basic functions. Now we have just learned something new called save view. Just click on that and it will be saved here, not anywhere else. Then there's something that I need to show you. Right now you go back to reset, okay, and do a bit of zooming here. Now you can see when okay, normally I'm here. Now we'll take an AutoCAD drawing because everything, okay, we are here, AutoCAD, okay. That is the same function. You can apply save view. If you want, you can do the same thing and it will be appearing here. And then here you can see so many layers. It's almost similar to AutoCAD function because you can turn off and turn on layers. So let's say you turn on the layers. Now you can see you turn on the layers, turn off the layers. You understand? So if you want to see only the let's say outer edge, right, you can turn off all the other layers so that your measurement will be very easy because you don't have unnecessary lines when you measure. So I'm going to show you the practical application of this layer thing as we progress, but I just wanted to show you there's something called layer. Okay. And similarly here, if you even use a PDF drawing, okay, that is possible. You can see there are few layers that you can, let's say if you don't want text, you can turn off that text. You can see here. But that is not possible in PDF, right? You don't have that facility in PDF, right? If you do zoom in, right? And then let us try, let's say, you can see sometimes you can turn off the grids. Yeah, you can see line blacks. Okay, text, right? So you can turn off and turn on layers from this tab here. We are still in the drawings tab, main tab, but under that you have 4 more tabs here. One is drawing, and you can see you have selected a particular drawing, and then you can go to the layer of that drawing and then turn off and turn on certain layers. And then if you have saved some views, you can see those views. So this is common for PDF or irrespective of the drawing type, these functions are equally applicable. Right? Can you practice a little bit? Click on this. Okay, views. I think probably you have done it now. You have saved views. You just zoom in an area and then save the views and open here. So I have done this before. I will give you 2 minutes to practice. And also select any of the drawing that you like. Let's say even this. And then go to layers and turn off the layers and see what's going to happen. It's like just trial and error. But I will show you the practical application of this when we start measuring. Okay. So I'll give you 2 minutes and drop me a message when you're done. Drop me a message on the chat box, okay? So I know that right. I don't want to leave behind anyone. Right. So good. So everyone has got that. So we are familiar with rotation, zooming in, zooming out. You can save some of the views that you have selected, and you can turn off the layers on and off of the selected drawing. So we are fine with we are fine up to that point, aren't we? Right. So we know how to zoom in, zoom out using keyboards and the mouse and also the icons. Right. And what is important is this Alt DW is a very good shortcut key, and it will show you what shortcut you have to use if you have to do these functions. Okay, if you are if you are very good in short like keyboard, you can use this. But the problem is you need to remember them. Of course, then otherwise you have to see these letters and then type it. But normally what we do is we use the icons. Okay, just put the escape now. Escape twice. You are back. Right. Now I just want to show you one thing. Now, how do you rotate this? Whatever you rotate, it is not horizontal and vertical, isn't it? But when you measure, it's very difficult, right? Because you have to do it in incline measurements. You can't do that. I mean, that's not the way to do. Correct? But you can rotate this, but it's not going to help. It is complicating more. Right? Even if you rotate 180, still it is not vertical, it is not horizontal. It's not in XY axis. Because when you take the photograph or when someone takes a photograph, somebody has taken in this way, so can't help. But still you need to measure this, let's say. So how do you make it horizontal now? So that is our question. How do you like make it horizontal? Now when you right click here, now you can see when you right click here, it says rotate by 90, 180, 270. We have used them and say draw to a drawn line. You can rotate to a drawn line. So I click on this and I draw a line. I draw a line. I draw a horizontal line. Okay. Or I draw a line. Okay, I'll do it again. I'll put the escape, right click, rotate to a drawn line. So if I draw a line horizontal, right, this way, now you can see. You can rotate to a drawn line. So you have to draw a line parallel to the axis so that end results would be, you can rotate to XY axis. You understand? Now you try this. It's a trial and error. Again, rotate to a drawn line. You just draw a line. You have to double click, okay? Let's say you want to draw a line. You can see what is going to happen. So it will align your orientation to that particular direction. So if you want to make it horizontal, you have to draw a line along these lines, for example, along this grid line, so that it will be horizontal. Again, I'll go to reset, okay, and I'll do a small, okay, I do zoom in. Now I'll do it. Now I want to make it perfectly horizontal. Okay, I want to make it perfectly horizontal. How do you do that? Right click. Normally this won't happen here, because we know normally most of the drawing, 90, okay, let's say 100% of the drawings will come in X and Y direction. Yes, it's very rare that you get a kind of an inclined drawing, because your x-axis is always x-axis, y-axis is always towards the y-axis. But here, if you have an image, that can happen. Now you want to make it like x and y-axis basis. So what you do is you draw a line, right, and then rotate. But when you draw a line, remember you have to draw the line along with this or parallel to this line, so that you can rotate it to a x and y axis. You just click on that and then say we draw a line parallel to this line, okay? And okay, can you practice that? Now you can measure, isn't it? And if you want, you can reset the view, say horizontal. Sorry, not the reset. I should have saved the view here, and it will become horizontal. You don't have to do it again and again all the time. So we'll do it again. Rotate to a drawn line. So you draw a line parallel to this axis, okay? You rotate, right? Fine. And then you save the view and say horizontal. Right. Now you are in this drawing because you have selected this drawing, and then only you can see only one view. You can't see the other views, because why it is not appearing here? Because you have selected this drawing. Sorry, JPG. Under that you have saved only this view, correct? Horizontal. And then earlier you have saved some views here under this drawing, then you will see those views. So all the views that you have saved will be against the corresponding drawing, remember. So when you select this drawing, whatever the saved views will be here. If you select this image or picture, JPG, and that view is here. You can go to horizontal and then select, sorry, you can reset the view, the original position, and now you click on this. Can you practice that? So with this, we have pretty much covered all the basic functions, zooming, reset view, and saving views under the drawings tab here. And then rotation, right? Both using mouse and keyboard. Other functions I will let you know. I will teach you as we process. And there's something called reports, and add-in drawing also we have practiced. Add-in drawings. Right. Were you able to rotate this one to kind of XY axis as a reference? Again, we'll do it one more time, last time. Those who have not, let's say, got it. You right click, rotate, and rotate to a drawn line. So you draw a line. Just zoom in and draw a line parallel to this. And just release the mouse. Right. If you have done it, just drop me a message here. If anyone is struggling, please unmute the mic and tell me. I'll help you to do it. All right, good. Everyone is following up. Right. So, okay, good. I'll go to drawings tab again. I'll select in AutoCAD drawing. I'll turn on all the layers. Right. Remember, these layers may not be the exact layers that you normally see in AutoCAD layers, right? It could be slightly different layers to what you get in AutoCAD. Right, so this is the drawing that we have selected. Right, now what is important is this, how to calibrate a drawing. How to calibrate a drawing, because that is an essential part of any software. Even if you take Bluebeam or Plan Shift, right, you need to first calibrate with a known dimension. Otherwise, you can't work on the drawing. So you have to have a reference point. You need to set your scale, basically, in other words. Right. So calibrating. If you want to make a note, short note, please put a heading called calibrate. Calibrate. You have X and Y axis to calibrate. Right. How do you calibrate? Now, since you have AutoCAD drawing here, normally we all know AutoCAD drawings are drawn on one-to-one basis. Right, 1 millimeter is always 1 millimeter on the drawing also. So we call it one-to-one. Right, but in PDF it may be the different. It could be 1 to 100 or 1 to 200. Right, but when you take the model, when you take the printout only, you will select the scale in AutoCAD. Correct? Now, okay, that is an additional information. Now, let's say you have to calibrate this drawing before you measure. You need to calibrate. We know on the drawing, this is marked as 5100, each grid. Right? Now we are going to calibrate using a known dimension that you all know, I think. But how do you do that? You click on this calibrate x-axis. So let us try x-axis this way. Okay, calibrate x-axis. When you click on calibrate, you can see this is activated now. And now you can see tiny like blue cursor will become small tiny dot, right? So you click on here and click on here. And it says inches now. Measurement in inches. No, there's something wrong here. Usually our measurements are in SI units here. That means meters and millimeters. So the system pick up this as inches. So we don't want to do that. You just double click here. Something may have happened here. You can see we have selected the base unit of measurement as inches, which is not correct. Our base unit of measurement is meters here. Sorry, millimeters. Not inches, millimeters. And you update. What did I do? Okay, I'll go one step back. So I was trying to calibrate, okay? So I press calibrate x-axis and then my cursor will become a dot here and then I mark this one here and it shows as 5,100 meters. And here also it is 5,100 meters. Fine. It's perfect. Earlier it was inches here. Earlier it was inches. So I close this and then I double click on this and check the measurement here. Base unit of measurement, it has to be millimeters. At the time of introducing the drawing, I must have made a mistake. It should have been base UOM is millimeters. So I change it from inches to millimeters and update. Now I will see only millimeters on that dialog box. Now I'm ready to do the calibrate x-axis and I click on that and it is 5,100. If you want to apply the same to y-axis, you keep the tick here, or otherwise you do y-axis separately. So I want to do it y-axis separately, calibration. So I untick this box and say this is 5,100. Okay. Now calibrate the y-axis. Okay. Because x-axis has been calibrated already. Okay. Now I'm going to calibrate y-axis. Now I'll select another dimension on this maybe little bigger dimension, yeah, just to increase the accuracy from here to you can zoom in and pick up the exact location, right? 2350, perfect. Okay, it is also 2350. Measure distance and actual measurement. That means all okay, fine. Now it is calibrated. Now it is calibrated. How do you know it is calibrated properly? You can measure. You can do a test measure here. You can see here and I can call measure distance. Now you measure distance from here to here. You can see 5,100, sorry, 5.1 meters. That means my calibration is correct. Right. Can you do the calibration of this AutoCAD drawing first? Right. Can you do that calibration? Or if you don't like that calibration, let's say you did a mistake, you can reset the calibration so you can start all over again. Right. You take this 204 GF AutoCAD drawing and do a calibration. First calibrate x-axis and then y-axis. What we have just learned is calibrating an AutoCAD drawing. I'll show you how to calibrate a PDF. Same way, you have to select the PDF drawing, that's all. But let us learn the easier one, because normally AutoCAD drawing calibration is easier because normally AutoCAD will be drawn on 1:1 scale. Right, are we done? Or can I do it again? So if you don't like, you reset the calibration. You have to start again, okay? So you select a particular dimension and calibrate x-axis. Okay, I click on that and then you know what happens. I just measure this one and it says actual measurement. Let's say actual measurement was 10,000. You just type 10,000 here. That's all. Actual measurement is, let's say, 10,000. You just measure 10,000, then automatically it will be calibrated. But here, actual measurement also 5,100. That means 1:1. And if you want to apply the same um, x-axis calibration to y-axis, you can keep this tick and then you do it. Then you don't have to do y-axis again. Then you double check. How do you double check? Let us measure y-axis, any dimension. Measure distance, sorry. Reset view. Click on this 3D. You don't need that. Okay, you just, I'll show you 3D thing. Now you measure. Measure the distance here from here to here. Okay. Here to here, 4.5. Here also 4.5. You just keep it. You don't have to click it. But if you want to measure something, you just start select the starting point and leave the cursor here. You can see the dimension. That means correct. What we have done is correct. So this is the calibration process in AutoCAD. Right. Just let me know if you are done. If you make a mistake, you just put the escape button. Okay. Escape button. You go back. If you want to reset, you have to press this reset calibration icon. Okay. Right. Just let me know if you have any questions.
Excuse me,
Right.
sir.
Nalaka, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in changing the unit from inches to millimeter.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have a problem. I sent it in the chat box.
Okay.
It's
Fine.
saying
Fine.
unable
Let me.
to open file for checksum calculation. File not found.
This one here.
Yes, sir. This one.
Problem is I can't see what is behind this box. Have you selected base unit as millimeters?
Yes, sir. Then I click the update.
Update.
Yeah, and then it shows this unable.
Unable to open file for checksum calculation. Okay, can you go back? Can you put escape and go back and come again from the beginning? You
Okay,
just
sir.
press the escape button
Okay.
and you select the appropriate drawing AAD 05201 CAD drawing
Yeah,
right from
ground
here.
floor.
Yeah, from here, like this. You double click on this.
It's a
You have everything is correct, right? You change the base unit as millimeters.
the millimeters, yes. Inches to
Yeah,
millimeters.
and then just press the update button. Are you still getting the same issue?
Yes, sir.
Just double check all the parameters are same, like okay, name, fine, folder, whatever the folder that you have selected here. Are you have you selected a different folder here by mistake uh,
This one,
than
it's the same.
appearing here because you have saved it in text one folder. Probably you must have selected a different folder here, correct? File name is
It's still,
fine.
yeah, test one, same.
Base UOM is millimeters, drawing multiply 1, horizontal scale, custom 1 to 1, vertical custom 1 to 1, maintain aspect ratio, all the parameters are correct.
Inline measurement.
Or can you close CostX and come back again?
Okay, sir. Okay,
Just
restart it.
just in case, yeah, just double check. Just close CostX and then select the building that we have created and
Mm.
come back. Anybody else is having the same issue? Change in your unit here?
Can I share my screen, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, much better. Yeah, it's here. So I will change the inches to millimeters. The parameters is the same, I believe. That's one, then update. Yeah, it's the same issue.
Can you close this? Yeah,
This one, sir. Okay. I
yeah,
will stop
close.
sharing.
Yeah. Can you delete this drawing? Right click, select the drawing, right click. Oh, wait, just a second. Before you do, go to layers and make sure you have selected all the layers. Probably that could be one of the reason. Yeah. So you have all the layers on, correct? Right.
Yes.
So go to drawings tab. Yeah. Delete this altogether. Right click and delete
Delete
drawing.
drawing.
Yes. Yes. Can you add it back? Muscat Hotel, I think. Muscat Hotel. Architectural. CAD. Yeah, that's the one. 201. Top one. Yeah. Yeah, model or layout. Sorry, model, no.
Model.
There, now itself, can you change the base unit as in millimeters? Yeah,
Insert, sir.
yeah, insert. Yeah, here we go. Now you try to calibrate. You have to be on the drawings tab now. Yeah, x-axis. Very good. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now you just measure one of the, yes.
It's correct now. But it's showing. Yeah, it's correct, sir.
Correct. Yeah. All right, good. I think something
Okay.
happened probably when you upload the drawings to CostX.
Maybe, sir.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay,
okay.
good. I think
Got
that's,
got
I
it, sir.
mean, that will be beneficial for others as well to troubleshoot. Right. Let me share my screen now.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
No problem. So everyone is understood, right? So everyone has, okay. Please repeat how to check the measurement. Okay. Can I calibrate meter to inches or feet to millimeter? I will explain you later. Normally, we work with SI units, but I will also teach you how to work with inches and feet later, not now, right? So when you add your drawing, I'll show you again. When you add your drawing, I'll double click here. And remember this here. This has to be millimeters. When you add your drawing, last time what had happened, when you first added the drawing, we have selected inches for whatever the reason, maybe by mistake. It has come inches. Now we have changed it to millimeters. So because our base unit on the drawings are millimeters, and say update. So whatever the drawing here, the base unit would be millimeters. When you measure, it will show in meters and millimeters. Understood? And also, I want to show you something. Okay, that is one thing. Okay. So your calibration also will happen in millimeters and meters. That's all. When you select your drawing in millimeters here, your calibration also will happen in meters and millimeters. But when you have, let's say, a drawing in inches and feet here, so you don't select millimeters now here. Now you select inches here. Then your measurement would be in feet and inches. So that is the difference. You know what happens? I will close this now. I'll open it again. right? When I introduce a new project or new building, let me delete this one first of all, test one of this because otherwise I can't show you it is. So what I will do is I will delete a project here. How to delete? I will show you these things later. Don't worry. This is just for the moment, temporary. Okay. Now I'm going to insert a new building. You don't have to do that. I just want to show you now one thing. When you first introduce a new building, because you can't introduce a new project in educational license version. So you introduce a new building. Why I have deleted this earlier? Because it will only allow 3 new buildings to be introduced here under educational version. That's why I deleted one of the projects I had because I wanted to show you how to add a new building again. So I press on this new building and whatever the name you give, now you can see base unit. When you introduce the building and the project, base unit is meters. But that is the default. If you want like feet and inches, it has to be feet. Okay, here when you introduce the building, but when you introduce a drawing like this now, when you introduce a new drawing, double click on that, you have to select the millimeters because we have already selected the meters there. So your SI unit will match because when you created the project, you have created your base unit as meters. Now when you select the drawing, you select your base unit as millimeters. So meters and millimeters, correct. So when you select a project in feet, then this has to be selected in inch. Then your measurement would be in feet and inches. So that is the difference. And very important point. So normally we select the project in meters and each drawing in millimeters. But let's say some of the architects will draw the plans in feet and inches. Then you have to select your building, or when you create your building at the first time, you have to select your base unit as feet, and your drawings you have to select in inches. Then when you measure, you get feet and inches. Are you getting? Right. So that is what we have done. Anyway, I have a small session on that. This is like what we have done is little earlier we have done this now. Okay. So don't worry. This has to be now since you have already now when you created the project or the building, you have created your base unit as meters. But when you add your drawing, you have to select your base measurement as millimeters. Then there's no problem. And then only you can calibrate it properly. Now let us calibrate a PDF drawing. Okay. Let us calibrate a PDF drawing because AutoCAD is easy. So I have used the same thing, same drawing, but in PDF now. Okay. Now you have to be on the drawings tab. Now let us do the same thing here. So calibrate x-axis. Can you follow me now? I'll demonstrate it and then immediately you can do yourself. Okay. So calibrate. Okay. I have saved views because before I calibrated, I have saved some of the views. So I delete the saved views here. Okay. I select this, right click and say delete view. Here, right click and say delete view. Okay. Now I select this PDF and say calibrate x-axis. Okay. I'm going to calibrate x-axis like similar to what we have done. Now in the PDF, selecting the point is little tricky because we all know it's a kind of an image at the end of the day. It's not a very accurate like AutoCAD, but here it is accurate enough. So you click on this and then on this. Now you can see it is ridiculous again. Mhm. Again in inches. So what I have done is probably I made a mistake there. When you first introduce this, I have made it in inches. So I need to go back. I need to close this. I need to correct that mistake. So how do you correct? So double click on this, double click on this. And I need to correct here inches to millimeters and update. Okay, something happened. We don't know what has happened. Don't worry. So you have made this, if you double click on that, and this is called drawing property dialog box. So you introduce the properties of this drawings in millimeters. That's why you change to millimeters, right? All the other folders and everything will be matching this one. You can see here, right? So this is fine, and do the same thing again. Can you change it to? You can see here when you first introduce the drawing, it should appear. A millimeter should appear here. These are also for some reason it is given in inches. So all this should be in millimeters when you first introduce the drawing. Here also we have to change. Anyway, I'm not going to use this drawing, so I'm not going to change this for calibration. I'll calibrate this one and this one. So I have changed the unit of measurement. You can see here unit of measurement should be millimeter. Here also there's a mistake, right? That has to be also millimeter. So let us change that one also. Double click. Unit of measurement is not inches, it has to be millimeters and update. Right, so it will appear here as millimeter now, you can see. Earlier it was inch, which is not correct because our measurement was not imperial, our measurement is SI. So it has to be project meters, drawing millimeter. If it is inches and feet, project feet, drawing inches. Are you getting me? All right. Now I go to, sorry, PDF. Yeah. Now I'm ready. I'm ready. Right. Do the calibration here. Right. And click on that. Okay. It says 50,000 or some or something. Okay. 50.9905 whatever. So what you do is you delete this one and say it has to be 5,100. Simple. It has to be 5,100. But I don't want the same factor to be applied to y-axis. I'll do separate y calibration. Okay. And okay. Correct? Because my measurement of 5,100. Now calibrate y-axis. Okay. And do just a second. Right. Now we are ready to measure one of the y-axis measurement. Let's measure the same thing that we have done in AutoCAD. So calibrate y-axis. Select this point. Sorry. Calibrate y. up to here, right? It has to be 4,000. We have to just type 4,500. Is that correct? Yeah. I have to do it again. 4,500. You have to just type the dimension there and say, okay, fine. Now let us try. So I have calibrated X and Y both in PDF now. Now let us take a measurement and see whether we have done it correctly. So how do you measure? So after the calibration, how do you measure? You have something called measure distance. Right? You click on that and just check the measurement now. Correct, no? 5,100. If you select proper point, you can see 5,100. Right now, if you want to see another Y dimension here, again measure here to here, 1 millimeter difference. No, 0.001 millimeter, right? 2250. I'm getting 2249. So that accuracy is not enough, not more than enough, because I think probably I have not selected this intersection properly. You can see. And if you are not satisfied, what you can do is, right, you can recalibrate again. You can recalibrate again. If intersection point is not that good, or maybe line thickness is not uniform, you will get this kind of situation, right? If you're not happy, what you can do is you can reset the calibration until you get the correct thing. I'm not going to do that. So can you do it and let me know? That's how you calibrate a drawing, a PDF drawing. Little difficult than AutoCAD, because AutoCAD normally comes with 1:1 scale. So you hardly see there's a difference in the scale. But here in AutoCAD, sorry, PDF, there could be slight misalignments, but you need to get it correct. And if you are not happy, again, do calibration. You have to reset calibration and come from the beginning. Right, just let me know if you are done. All okay? Darren is asking question, if a drawing is shown in both inches and millimeters, that is very unlikely. Either drawings will be marked in feet and inches or meters and millimeters. That's all. You don't normally combine inches and millimeters. That is not the standard practice. You can within bracket, probably let's say meters and millimeters, within bracket they could have given in inches and feet. But you know, that is never be the same. 100 millimeter, if you want to convert into, let's say, inches, it is an approximate value rather than an exact value, because we know certain millimeters are there for 1 inch, for 328 millimeters for 1 feet. So when you convert, there will be always a rounding off, right? So for easiness, they will give sometimes. Vimukti also has some issue, right? So can you delete that drawing and upload it again? Vimukti, can you delete that drawing? Like
Yes, I
what we did
already
earlier?
yes, I already deleted and uploaded again, sir. But still the error message is coming.
You reset the calibration, still the message appears when I try to take the y-axis. Now, I think what you've done is basically, yeah, okay, I know the reason. You have probably selected already. Okay, I'll show you. I think that is the reason. Okay, now I'm going to say calibrate x-axis. Okay, and then I type this one as 5100. And probably you have ticked this box, correct? In that case, you don't have to calibrate, it is already calibrated, the y-axis. If you have to calibrate the y-axis, you have to untick the box. I think that could be the reason. I can't see. Because you have already you have applied x-axis calibration to y-axis when you tick the box. Now you can't do it again. You can't calibrate y-axis again. That could be the reason. But
Yes, sir.
anyway, can you?
That was the reason.
That
When I untick
that was the
it
reason.
was okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine, good. Right, so we have calibrated both. Now I will show you how to calibrate a different way. Now this is I have used calibrate x and y axis two ways. One is when you calibrate, right, you can calibrate both axes together if you want by using that tick box, right? Or you can do it separately, x-axis together, sorry, x-axis separately and y-axis separately. And I'll show you another method. Now sometimes you see the scale given here, correct? Let's say normally in projects, especially this is applicable for PDF, because AutoCAD is always one-to-one. If you take the model, it is always one-to-one, right? It is always one-to-one. That is what we have learned from here. This is one-to-one always, right? When you print AutoCAD into a particular size, then only you will select the scale. But in PDF, that is already there, And normally they give this scale in whatever the paper. Let's say A3, it is 1 to 100. A2, maybe it is 1 to 10. I'm just taking some examples. Okay. So let's assume this scale is correct. And then we can double check. Let's say now I'm going to use this scale given in the drawing, on the drawing, to calibrate this. How do you do that again? It is already given. Calibrate x-axis. Now what you do is basically you double click on this. You can type here 1 to 100, isn't it? Now, since you have already loaded this drawing, now it is given as 1 to 100, right? 1 to 100. So you just type 1 to 100. Vertical scale is also 1 to 100, or otherwise you can say it's locked. When you click this locked, sorry, uh, otherwise you can just type this one. I'll do it again. Right, I'll double click on this. Now you can see earlier it is 1 to 1 horizontal scale. Okay. And since I have seen 1 to 100 on the drawing, so I'll type 100 here. Okay. And then just click on locked, and it will be appearing here as well. So you are applying the same scale to both X and Y scale. That's what it says. Okay. Now you have locked the ratio or the scale and update. Now when you unlock, that is also possible. You can just type this 100 and 100. Otherwise, you can just type 100 here, 100 here, and update. Now see, okay, I didn't do this any calibration now. I have used the scale given on the drawing. Now just measure it and see that scale is correct. Correct, no? Slightly different. It should have been 5.1, but I'm getting 5.099. Slightly different. Using the scale given. Right, so always manual calibration is better. Let us double check again whether I have selected properly. Okay, escape, and I'll measure it again. Right, from here to here. Yeah, there's a slight difference coming. 0.001 meter. That means 1 millimeter difference. It should have been 5.1. So I'm getting instead 5.099. Correct? So I always advise you to calibrate using these icons rather than using the scale given on the drawing. Because sometimes that is not reliable 100% here. But I have to show you how we can use the scale on the drawing. Then you must be asking, okay, if you have two different scale on a drawing, so there's a method to calibrate it. I will not do it right now. There's something called working space, working area. You can set the working area from here. Right, let's say you have two drawings. I can't show you because this doesn't have two scales on the same drawing. Let's say you have 1 to 100 foundation detail somewhere here, 1 to 10 or 1 to 25. And then on the other side, you have 1 to 100, maybe part plan. You can calibrate that one as 1 to 100, and the foundation detail you can calibrate as 1 to 10 using something called working area. Set working area, you can see. You can calibrate this one and say this is 1 to 100. The rest is 1 to sorry, this is 1 to 10 and this is 1 to 100. So there's something called working area. I'm not going to do it now. It's a bit confusing at the moment. So reset. Okay, reset the working area. So you can, you can work on the same drawing differently on two, because sometimes you have so many drawings, so many details on the same drawing, right? There'll be different scales, in other words. But for now, I'm not going to complicate things. I have shown you how to do calibration using the dimensions given. And the other one is I have shown you how to calibrate using the scale given in the drawing. Are we okay? Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir, I have the question.
Mm-hmm.
After setting properties, scales, I'm unable to reset, sir. We set at
Okay, now,
1:100 now.
yeah, correct. Now, that's correct. Now, when you use the scale, it's a good question. When you use the scale given here, you can't reset. You can't reset. That is a disadvantage of this method. Now you can't reset, now.
Oh,
Cannot
yes, sir,
give
I
in their
am unable to
calibration change.
reset.
Drawing with a scale set cannot have their
Hmm.
calibration change. Now what you have to do? Then you have to go to this one and change it. You have to change it again as one,
Okay, sir. Okay,
right? You have to change it
okay, sir.
1 to 1.
Uh,
Now reset, because you have locked the scale by doing that. That is the thing. Because when you change
now,
this one and locked, nobody will be allowed to change the calibration again, because it is a set value here. Now you have to change it again if you want to reset. That's a good question.
yes, sir, now it's calibrating. Okay,
Now
thank
it is
you.
calibrated. Yeah, okay, good. I just wanted to show you how to calibrate using a given scale. I hope everyone is now ready to start the measurements. Okay. So we know how to manipulate the drawings now. We know how to rotate, how to reset the view, and how to save view and zoom in and zoom out, and then the rotation, right? And here, okay, I just want to show you something here, because okay, even this one you can calibrate. I just wanted to show you, because this is a JPEG. We have done AutoCAD, PDF. Now let us calibrate this one also. Right. So let us take okay, 11 to 30 figure. You know the value, the issue here, because this is an image, so it's very difficult to pick the point here. So it will be approximate. This is not 100% accurate, since you can't really pick the value here. But still you can do that, calibrate. Again, same thing. So I remove saved view. I remove the saved view, and now I can, okay, now I have to do bit of calibration. Okay. Let's say this one, calibrate x-axis. Picking the point would be very difficult. Therefore, it's not very accurate. At the end of the day, this is an image. So, right. So it is 11 to 30. 11 to 30 millimeters, correct? 11 to 30 millimeters. So I said, I'll keep X and Y axis together. So I'm applying the same calibration to Y axis also, and say, okay, fine. Then let us measure distance. I will normally measure distance from Y axis, because since I have already fixed the Y axis when I fix x-axis also. So what is the value? This is 22,460. Some of the values are not properly visible also. This is 5,500. Okay, let's measure this. Now you can see this is 540 because of that issue. Because we can't really pick the value here, sorry, the point here. And also when you pick the point during the calibration, right, you might go few millimeters off. You can see it's almost there, but it's not 100% accurate because we are not 100% sure here which point is the correct point, right? So that is the thing. So you have to live with that because it's an image at the end of the day. It is not 100% accurate as PDF or AutoCAD. AutoCAD is the most accurate, you all know, is 1-to-1 normally. PDF, more than enough accuracy, but here you might get a little offset. You can see it's 5.5. Yeah. So this accuracy is not more than enough to measure a picture. Right, it all depends on how the quality of the picture and the line thickness. If you have line thickness, I'll put the escape. Okay. If you have bad line thickness, of course, that will have an impact on the scale. But can you try that one also on with you and see, get some experience on that also? Try to calibrate this. And drop a message to the chat that everyone has done it. Then I can move on. I will show you how to do a calibration in feet and inches at the middle of the lectures, okay? Because I have another drawing which has an imperial units, feet and inches. So I will show you how to calibrate that drawing when we do that measurement, especially when we measure the reinforcement towards the end of the course. But for now, it has to be crystal clear when you create a project. Of course, you can't create a project in here. It's a default project. But if you, when you create a building, your base unit has to be meters, and drawing has to be in millimeters. If you have feet and inches, then your project base unit should be feet, drawing base unit should be inches. Right, are we done? So you can't expect, of course, Sharif, sorry. Which type of file is giving more accuracy measurement in CostX than other type of file? I should say when you measure 2D, most accurate would be CostX files. But if you can set up the scale correctly in PDF, that accuracy is also in par with CostX, sorry, AutoCAD. But when you measure JPG file, as I shown you, because there will be a small mismatch when we calibrate the JPG file, so that may not be 100% accurate, but that is that accuracy is more than enough. Only few millimeters here and there. So answer is CostX, equally PDF if you can do a calibration properly. When it comes to 2D, 3D 100% accurate. Right? Are we done? Can you drop a message so that I know everyone has? Difficult to calibrate because of the line thicknesses and all. And double check from this button after calibration. You just double check the measurement from this measure distance and see how much. And it might be slightly off. It's okay because this is at the end of the day JPG file, kind of a photograph. Okay. Can I move on? Right, good. So I'll move on. Now, if I just summarize what we have learned, we have learned how to manipulate drawing, rotating, zooming, right? Setting the view, reset view, and you can save some of the views that you want, but that has to happen after the calibration. Now you learn that thing, right? When you save the views, you can't calibrate that drawing without removing the saved views. So you have to calibrate the drawing and then you have to save any views. And to calibrate drawing, probably the AutoCAD is the easiest one because the measurement would be exactly the same because it's normally one-to-one basis. So calibration may be much easier and you can log the ratio and you select, let's say you calibrate x-axis, but you can apply the same ratio to y-axis as well by ticking the box. And then PDF, you can do two ways. One is the same calibration x-axis and y-axis, or using the scale given on the drawing. So that has to happen from here. All right, double click on that. Here only you have to change the scale. Now when you select an AutoCAD drawing, you can see here, double click. It is always one-to-one because there's no scale here. In the model, there's no scale. It is always one-to-one. Right. So once when you do this the calibration you using the scale, it will not allow you to reset the calibration. But when you do manual calibration x-axis and y-axis, you are allowed to do the reset of calibration. So that is the difference. When you use a scale here on the drawing, it will not allow you to do that unless you go back, double click here, you go back and change the scale here again back to one-to-one. Then you can reset. Right. I think that's what we learned. Now we are ready to measure the foundation. So let us now start the measurement and then we will learn other functions as we proceed. Right, so I will close this now. Okay, I'll close this and I will start CostX again. Can you also do the same thing? Close CostX and start again. Right, I want you to create a new building. I want you to create a new building because you have in your one, you have only one building, right? Yes, you are allowed to do 3 in the educational version, but here I have done another one. I will delete this one, the guardhouse thing. I can delete this. Okay, let me delete this so you and I will be on the same page. I'll delete this. I'll teach you how to delete a project later on. Right. And you can import or you can take a backup. Those things I will explain later. Don't worry. Now you are going to introduce a new building for the same project because we can't introduce a new project in the education license. Even if you click on that, it will not allow. So we have been given as a default project. So we are creating all the new buildings under the default project. So create a new one. Can you follow me? Call, let's say Muscat Hotel Substructure. Okay. Let's say Muscat Hotel. Right, building code, let's say 002 or 002. Project, you have to select the project here, default. If you had new project, several projects, you can select from this drop down menu, but unfortunately you can't do it here. Building type, if you want to apply any building type or concrete or something, you just type it here. Otherwise, you can leave it blank, no issue. And you can see now, base unit, you are using meters because you are creating a new building now. It has to be meters, not millimeter now. When you introduce the drawing, it has to be millimeters. Okay, so can I insert? I'm going to create a new building now. New building name is Muscat Hotel. Building code is 002 because we have selected earlier 001. And project is default project. And building type, I keep it blank and I'm not going to touch on this second box. And the base unit is millimeters. That's all. And insert. Right, now I am here. You can see I am in Muscat Hotel folder. Now you can see there's no drawings because previous drawing that we have worked on has been created on another building. It's not this. So I have created a new building again. So those drawings are not here. You can see none of the drawings are here because those drawings were in another building. So you can say it was in another folder. Correct? Now I have created another folder called Muscat Hotel and all my workings for this Muscat Hotel would be under this folder. Right now, if you just close and then again open, I'll see you this. I'll show you this. Now you can see 2 buildings are there. 2 buildings are there. I can use this. Earlier, we have been working on this one. And when you open, you will see all the drawings that we have calibrated and all this. All these drawings will appear there. But since we have created new building now, we are working on this Muscat Hotel. You don't see anything at the moment because we have not uploaded any drawing to this. Now we are going to do this now. Okay. So can you add, okay, we are going to measure this. Let me show you something now. We are going to measure this building, certain elements of this Muscat Hotel folder, right? When you enter into this drawings and BOQ folder, there's a subfolder called Muscat Hotel. There you have architectural, drainage, blah, blah, blah. So I'll use structural foundation. And this is what you are going to learn. Sorry. (102) foundation layout. You are going to measure this. You can see some footings, combined footings, isolated footings. You are going to measure this substructure with me. And this is the kind of building. This is structural part. And if you take architecture, PDF, let's take an elevation. Okay, this is the building we are going to measure. That doesn't mean I will measure all the items here, but I will give you the principle to measure all the items here. Right, so it's a two-story building, and we are going to measure masonry, doors and windows, substructure completely. We are going to measure and prepare the BOQ for each section. So that is what we will be doing during next, let's say 8 days or so, or 7 to 8 days. Right, we are going to measure this building, starting with foundation. Let us take the foundation. Therefore, we are going to upload this foundation layout first. Okay. So let us close this, and I'm going to upload the AutoCAD drawing, because we have the AutoCAD drawing of the foundation layout. Therefore, I'm going to add that particular drawings into this Muscat Hotel new building. Okay, right. So when I say new building, it is not necessarily a building. It could be a section of what we are going to measure. Okay, so when I say even building, it doesn't mean that it's a real building. Right, it's just a folder that you are going to create within the default project. Right, now I'm going to add that drawing. Drawing, can you add this drawing, please? Drawing, add. How do you add the drawing? Drawing and then tiny arrow. You click on this tiny arrow, and then you see this add drawing, and then you have to select proper drawing. Where? In my one, it is lectures, and you have to open your one. You have CostX training, yes. And under batch 6, okay. Here you will get under drawings. Just click on drawing, and then you have another folder called drawings and BOQ. Click on that, and then go to Muscat Hotel folder. Muscat Hotel folder. Go to structural, and we have both. We have both PDF and CAD drawing, but I'll use CAD drawing for foundation layout. SAD05102. Can you find out that drawing? Not the revision one, not the revision one, but the foundation layout, DWG. Just click on that. Just select that and open. Yeah, we'll take the model, okay? Not the layout. We'll take the model. And okay, drawing name, if you want to rename the drawing, you can rename, but I'll keep it as foundation layout. If you want revision 0 or whatever, but I'll leave it as it is. Folder, I will say either substructure or you can say concrete, isn't it? Let's say substructure. Okay, I'm not going to change anything else. Remember, base unit of measurement now it has to be millimeters because when we created the project, the building, it was in meters. And I didn't do any calibration yet. So leave it like 1:1 at the moment and we will calibrate it later. Right, now insert. Now you can see the drawing here and we are ready to measure from this. Right, can you add this drawing called SAD 5102 foundation layout? If you have not renamed, can you make sure that you rename this as foundation layout? When you add here, you double click, you can change it here, okay? Foundation layout or substructure if you, let's say, now you can see the folder structure here, substructure. Under the substructure, I have stored this, or I have uploaded this drawing as foundation layout. And I didn't calibrate it yet. Now, first thing, if you want to measure from a drawing, of course, you need to add the drawing to the building. So add the drawing to the building, the foundation layout. And next step would be, of course, you need to calibrate before you measure. That is a standard practice in any software, right? You upload the drawing, or so you add the drawing, and then you have to calibrate. How to calibrate? Now I have told you how to do that. Right. If you have done this, let us quickly calibrate this now. Okay, it's the same drawing we have used before, but it's okay. You have to upload it again. And now quickly do a calibration. Right, calibrate x-axis. Right, it's 5100. You can see that's why you get the same value here, because normally AutoCAD is done in 1:1 basis. And let us apply the same thing for to y-axis also. So this has to be ticked. So we can do the calibration x and y axis both together by having a tick here and say okay. And if you are not sure, you better to check y-axis coordination now, because anyway you use x-axis calibration for the y-axis. So let us double check y-axis measurement, right? And measure and see whether you are getting the same thing here. Yeah, for 4.5 meters. Perfect. You can see here perfectly. You don't have to click it, okay? When you click, it disappears. Right, you just escape and then do it again. Measure from here, and you just keep your mouse here. You will get the value here. Unlike in AutoCAD, you have to click to get the value. But here, when you just keep your mouse somewhere here, you will get the value here. That means you are okay, fine. Now you are ready to measure. Right, escape. Now you have added the drawing and also you have calibrated it. So what are you going to measure? Let's say you are going to measure PCC. PCC. Now you can see this is the foundation line and this is the PCC. Outside line is a PCC if you take the plan, and inside line is the foundation line. So if I do a cross section of this, If I do a cross section of this, it will look like this. I have created a cross section. If you want to make it more clearer, yeah, here. It will look like this. If I take a section, if you take a section through this one of the footings, the outer line is the PCC line projected from the foundation, which is this, correct? The green color one. That is a PCC. Then on top of that, you have the blue foundation, and on top of that, you have stub column up to the, let's say, ground floor level. Okay, that is a typical, and then you have a tie beam here. You can see TB at the bottom level, let's say. Okay, you have a tie beam at the bottom level. It is not clear 100%. And if you go to there are standard details here. If you want to see drawings, Muscat Hotel, general details. Here you have standard details. Now that's the block work. Doors and windows, structural, let's say PDF. Yeah, here. If you go to 933, drawing SAD 5933, PC details, you can see the foundation sizes, right? F1, F2, F3, and the foundation sizes are given, and the PC dimension is given. That is a plinth concrete or plain concrete, sorry, plain concrete, or we call it blinding concrete. Right, you can see the RC measurement, the foundation dimension is 2500, this is 2700. That means it is like this, correct? Right, you have 100 mm projections either side, and the thickness also 100 mm, and this is your typical footing detail. This is foundation and 100 mm thick, and this is the line you see on the plan. I hope everyone understands that part. And that is an isolated footing. And when you have combined footing, same, you have two footings together, for example, sorry, two columns together for a common footing here, and then you have a PCC underneath. Again, projection is 100 and also the thickness is 100. So that is given here. You need to refer to actual drawings, right? You need to refer to your actual drawings, and you have to plan your measurements accordingly. So if I simplify this table into this diagram, this is how you will see. We are going to measure the green part here, the green part. That is the PCC. Okay. Right. Now, if you want to have this Excel sheet, I can give you. It's called functions and diagram. I can drop this one if anyone wants to have this. Yeah, I'll put into the chat box. No, I can't do that. I can't add any files here, but I can drop you your WhatsApp group. I'm going to drop that Excel sheet, Excel diagram into your WhatsApp group. Okay. Save it in your folder. Functions and diagrams. This will help. Right. Save this one, download and save it. And I just wanted to show you how it will look like, right? Okay, this is kind of a section. I have developed up to the roof level, but this is only the foundation. Okay. So you have the plain PCC, and then on top of that the foundation, and then you have tie beam in between the foundation, and then you have the stub column up to the ground level. So we are going to measure the substructure. Right. I just want to show you. Okay, this is how it is. So if you want to measure PCC, now there's something called, okay, now we have been working on the drawing step all this time. Now you have something called dimensions. Now in CostX, this is a very important aspect. You need to create something called dimensions if you want to measure something. So it's like an element that you want to measure, right? So that is linked to. So that is how you measure the elements in CostX. You have to introduce something called dimension groups. This is the first time you are going to learn about dimensions. Right now we are going to measure PCC from this. Therefore, we have to create something called dimensions. How do you do that? Similar to what you have done here, you have added a drawing like this and started measuring on that. So similarly, if you want to measure PCC, it's like a BOQ item, in other words, very similar to like a BOQ item. So dimensions, you need to create here a new dimension called PCC. Right. So what you do is dimension, go to dimension tab, right? You just follow dimension tab, right? And then add a new dimension. Okay, add dimension group. Similar to what you have done with drawings. Now you are going to introduce an item to be measured. Earlier you have introduced a drawing to be measured. Okay, so go to dimensions tab, add dimension group. And now you will learn something new. Name of the dimension, we call it as, okay, 100 millimeter thick PCC. That's what you are going to measure. Okay. Okay, folder. Let's say concrete, because it's a concrete item. Okay, it's a concrete item. Okay, how do you want to measure? You are going to measure the area. You are going to measure the area of the PCC, but actually, according to the method of measurement, we all know method of measurement, PCC should be measured in volume. You select the default display in volume because that is what we need in your BOQ. But we measure the area from the drawing because we can't measure volume. No, it is not 3D drawing at the moment. It is a 2D drawing. So how do you measure the manual How do you measure manually? In AutoCAD drawing, you get the area and multiply it by thickness, right? Same thing here. So we measure in area, but we need the output in volume, that is in cubic meter. In that case, you have to give the thickness. You have to define the thickness because CostX will automatically multiply the area what we are marking with this thickness and give you or give us the volume. So default height is meters, remember, therefore 0.1. Right, 0.1. And say insert. And you will see what happens. Now you see, earlier there was a drawing. Now we have created something called dimension group. What are we going to measure? 100 millimeter thick PCC. What is the unit of measurement? Cubic meters. Quantity 0 yet because we have not measured yet. Okay. How we'll do it again? I'm going to do it again. Right. I'll delete this now. I'll delete this. I'll do it again. Now can you follow me? Seriously follow me. How do you want? So when we first introduce an item to be measured, like a BOQ item, so we introduce something called dimension group. How? You go to dimension tab and tiny arrow, click on this tiny arrow, and then you will see add dimension group. Name 100 millimeter thick. Can you also do that? 100 millimeter thick PCC. Okay. Name. Folder, not standard. I should say concrete because it is a concrete item. Okay. Measurement type. I need the measurement in area. I'm going to measure in the area on the drawing, but default display I want in volume because normally PCC will be measured in volume. But when I measure the area, I want in volume. That's what it says basically. Because measurement type, I'm going to measure in area. But my output should be in volume. Then I have to define the thickness, of course. Default height is, because this is in meter, therefore 0.1. Right? I'll come back to this colors and everything later. For the moment, insert. So as soon as I do that, you can see a dimension group has been created for 100 millimeter thick PCC. Unit of measurement is cubic meter. Quantity is yet to come. And it is given in green. Now I'm ready to do that. Now how I measure? This is the first time you are going to measure from this. Okay. Can you create this one first? And these are the, I'll double click on that to show you the parameters that we have selected. You can set the same parameter until you get some practice. You follow the same parameters and then say not update, insert, and you will see this. So let us do this first. Insert a dimension group or introduce a dimension group. That is what we are going to measure. I want everyone to watch the video again and make some short notes. Okay, now you may not be able to do a short note. You just follow my demonstrations, and then when you watch the video for the second time, I want you to make some flow charts, right, in a form of, okay, I want you to make a small note from each lesson.
Don't forget. Don't forget.
Right, have you done this? Have you created something called 100 millimeter thick PCC under a folder called concrete? You can see here on my right, and these are the parameters we have select: measurement type, area, display. That is how you want, and that is you get here m cube, because I have selected the volume here, and therefore I have to define the thickness. Therefore I have selected default height as 0.1. If you have, let's say, 50 millimeter thick PCC, I would have selected 0.05 millimeter here. And if I have, let's say, uh, PCC in different thicknesses, let's say 50 millimeter thick, 75, and then 100, then I have to create 3-dimension group. 50 millimeter thick first, 175 second, and 100 millimeter thick PCC. So I have to create 3-dimension groups to measure 3 items. But since I have assumed, or as per the general details, all the PCCs are 100 millimeter thick, I have created a single PCC, 100 millimeter thick PCC. So it depends on how, okay, what details are provided within the drawing. If you have different thicknesses, you have to create different dimension groups for PCC thicknesses. Now, I will take only 100. Okay, I hope it is clear up to now. And I close this now. So make sure that you have the same parameters as mine. Here, 0.1, okay, not 100 millimeter, not 100, because unit is in meters. Because according to the standard details, all the PCCs are 100 millimeter thick. That means 0.1 meter thick. I'll explain later default offset, multiplier, and all these things I will explain later. So one at a time. And colors also I will show you later. And say okay, but now in this case my one update, so I'll close this. I have already done this. So we are ready to measure now. So let us take the big one, okay? And we all know what we are going to measure is this green color PCC for all the footings. So all the footings, we are going to measure the outer line of the PCC. Right, we are ready now. I will explain later if the outer line is not provided how to measure. That will come little later, but assume that the PCC line also given. Now you are going to measure. How? You have to keep your you have to select your dimension groups that you have just created. Right? You have selected the drawing, yes. And also now you are on the dimensions tab, remember, and you have selected this PCC. 100 millimeter thick, because you are going to measure 100 millimeter thick PCC from the drawing now. There are two types. There are two ways. Now you are going to measure the area, isn't it? You are going to measure the area of the PCC. That is the outer line. How to measure the area from CostX now? You will learn. Any area measurement you can do in two ways. I'll show you this later, positive, negative, both. I will explain this one separately, but now you are going to measure the entire area of F6 PCC, and we'll measure F3, and we'll measure all together today the PCC for the footings, okay? PCC for the footings. So let us measure quickly. Right. How? There are two methods. One is you can use the line mode. The other one is called point mode. You click one of them and then you start measuring. We'll use both. Right. Firstly, line. Okay, it is already selected. You just click on line, and you see when you click on line, you see what happens when you move the cursor. Right, it becomes green. You just click on this. Okay, just click on this and just click on those 4 lines. This is not properly selected, so you just select the entire line here. And just enter. Then only it will be closed. Now you see what happened, 7 cubic meters. But we measure only the area. But you get the volume as a result. Because CostX will multiply the area by 0.1 thickness that you have already defined there. Now you see, in a second you measure the area, correct? In a second you measure the area of F6. So can you measure all the areas of these footings? Now I use the line mode, right? I use the line mode. Let us use the point mode. Sometimes point mode is easier. Point mode is easier. So use the point mode here and you select only the 4 lines. Easy. And then you don't have to even click on this. You just enter. You will select it. Right? You might argue, okay, nothing happened to this 7. Yeah, this could be a small quantity. This is rounded off. I'll come back to that later. But for now, we'll start like measuring all the PCCs. Right? Can you now start and measure with me? Because I don't think we can do more than measuring the PCCs today. So let us take a start. Let us take 1. Okay. So we have created the dimensions. So click on the line mode or maybe on the point mode. If it is point mode, only 4 corners and just enter. Or if it is line mode, you have to click on the outer line until it is closed and then just press enter and you will see the quantity appears here. So can you use, now I have clicked the point mode. Point mode is easy. So soon zoom in and select. So when you select 3 corners and then move the cursor here and then enter, it will close the object automatically. Right? So easy. Line mode also easy if you have a single line. Now earlier you can see here is 2 lines here. You have to click on this, maybe sometimes on the same line twice and then enter. When it is measured, the entire thing is shown as green line here. Right? So quickly measure. And I want you to get so I'll use the point mode because that will be easier for me. Right, so I have measured 4. Now we have to pan it using the mouse. You have to click at the right place, okay? All the corners. You also start. Now, by looking at the drawing, you can see which footings you have already measured. So that is the beauty. You can see visually. Once you measured, you know if you have anything missed out, you will immediately know. You select 3 corners and then press the enter. It will automatically select the object, or it will close the dimension. If it is a straight one, otherwise you have to select, you have to click on the corners anyway. Sorry. If you make a mistake, you just put the escape, okay? Then your last function will be cancelled. Right, so I have done this. I have a small issue with my mouse, so don't worry. Right, so only few are left. There's an easy method, okay? Don't worry. I will show you later. You must be wondering, my gosh, this is also taking a lot of time. There are easy method. I'll take one by one, step by step. So let us take the principles correct. Okay. And then I'll show you some easy methods to measure the area. Okay, only 2 to go. Yeah, the last one. Here we go. We have measured everything, isn't it? Yeah. So our answer is 48 cubic meters.
Sir.
Yeah.
But for me, the line was not marked. I set the scale and everything, but I unable to sketch.
Okay.
That is same problem to me also.
What is the issue?
Just I select the folder under the PCC, then click the line. Then we have to go to select the lines, right?
Yeah, correct.
It is not working, right? It is not working in my mind. I think I have done some mistake.
Is
Maybe I
it
too.
possible for me to see your screen?
Think.
Okay, how about others? Are we getting 47, 48 cubic meters?
Yes,
Can you
48
see
cubic
my?
meter.
Can
Right.
you see my?
Good. Yeah, let me, can you share your screen?
Now I already shared the screen.
I think not yet. I see your chat box.
Is it? I have gone with this.
I will, let me, Now you can share your screen.
Is it okay now?
Now open CostX now.
Now already open. I'm
you
in
are-
CostX.
But we can only see MS Teams. Go to stop sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, again start sharing and entire screen. Sharing the
Screen,
screen,
right?
not the window, huh? Screen, not the window. Ah, yes. Now we can see. Okay, now what is the issue?
Here, right?
Okay, double click on that. Can you double click?
Yes.
Okay, okay, problem. Measurement type area. Measurement type, yeah, that you have to change it to area because you are going to measure the area. Then you get
Correct.
your display in area and 0.1. Now you update and measure.
Then
You
right.
select any of the light. Yeah, just click on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I have it
no
on this.
problem. Now, that don't worry. You have to ask the questions. Otherwise, what is the
Then
point?
enter, right?
Yeah, and just enter. Yeah, and it will become green entire thing.
Yes.
Now something happen again. 6. Again, you are
Sir?
getting square meters. Our default display volume. Update.
Oh, yes, correct.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no problem. Now,
Sir?
yes.
But I am clicking, I get a 5.2 measurement, but I click means it's not working.
Can you share your screen as well?
1 second, sir.
It's good that these questions might come to you also later.
Sharing option.
Go to sharing and screen. And then open CostX. Yeah. Yeah. CostX. Yeah. Okay. What is your issue? Just click on that now. Wait. Just click on this dimension. Yeah. No. Now go to dimension group tab earlier. No,
Where,
not
sir?
here. Top. Here.
Oh.
Now go to come down. Yeah, there. Go to other tab. Yes. Now the other one. Yeah. Click on this. And then double click on that. Measurement type area volume default height 0.1 100 millimeter concrete. All okay. Okay. Close this. Yeah, now line. Yeah, just click on that. Click.
Yes, sir, but I clicking it's not.
Not working. So okay.
Yes.
No, you don't right click on that. Can you select the point mode? Point mode, point. Yeah. Yeah. Click on that. Yes.
Not working the same.
Okay. Just exit and come back. Exit from CostX. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Just exit. Again, open CostX. Yeah. Open that particular building. Yeah. Hotel. Hotel, no? Not that one.
Yes.
Not that one. Not that one. Close
Oh,
again.
sorry.
You have to close. You cannot move in internally. Yeah. Yeah. Open hotel. Yes. Now, yeah. Now you click on dimension. You have to be on the drawing first. Yeah. And then go to dimension. Yeah. Expand it. Yeah. Go. Yes. Select. Now, area, volume, and you have selected default height as 0.1. Looks everything fine. Close that. Now you select point mode, point.
Okay.
Now it's working. No.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Something happened. Some technical issue.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Just enter now. Put the enter. Now press the enter.
Yes, sir.
No. Yeah. When you select the yeah, close. Now you press the enter key.
I enter, sir, but it's coming like this only.
Now put the escape then. Escape. Undo. Control is it. Okay. Good. Do it again. Zoom in. Yeah. Select. Yeah. Now enter.
Enter I give means
Enter key.
like this. One second, sir.
Cannot be something. Okay. Go back. Close. Now close. Yeah. Control is it. Use the point mode. Yeah. Zoom in. Now you select the point. Yeah. 4 corners. Now you enter. Yeah. Just put enter now. Enter.
Same, sir. I given enter.
What is this?
I did not know, sir.
Yeah. Don't go there. Don't go there. Just press the enter. Now enter key.
Okay, sir. Okay, now okay, sir.
Okay. Just put the now you select 3 corners and then press the enter key. Then you can see the entire object is selected. Yeah. Yes. Now enter. Now just enter. No.
I need to give every time it's dialog box is open, sir. Sorry, other.
That cannot happen. Now just watch my video, right?
Okay, sir. After class I
Tomorrow.
will watch again, sir.
Yeah. And then enter. Enter. Just enter. Yeah.
No, okay, sir.
Understand. Now you
Yes.
pick the line mode. Yeah. Just put the line. Yes. Yeah.
Working, sir. Now
Just
okay.
enter. Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
no?
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Right. So you should be getting, okay, continue and finish it off. You will get
Okay,
about
sir.
48 or 47 cubic meters of PCC. Right. So I'm going to stop here. And then when we meet next time, we are going to measure the foundation. That is, if you can you remove the screen sharing?
Sir,
Right. I hope everyone, yeah.
sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please go.
Like example, if there are footings and in the corner there are fence footings and the thickness of 50 footing is 50 mm, not 100 mm. So in that
Yeah.
case, what we are going to do?
So we have to create a new dimension called 50 millimeter thick PCC.
Uh-huh.
That one we have to measure as 50 millimeter. And then you have to define here default thickness as 0.05. You have to measure it as a separate item. Why I have measured all
Okay.
PCC as 100? Because a standard detail shows all the thicknesses of the PCs are 100. If your drawing shows, as you said, 50 millimeter, this one corner one, for example, then we have to create another dimension called 50. Then you can measure that 50.
So,
Now, for example, can I
so sir,
show
in
you
this
like
case,
this?
if it comes to the footing in the future, the footings will
Hmm.
be of different thickness. So in this case, we need to do the same thing to the footings.
Yes, I will measure it.
Okay.
Of course, the footings will be different thicknesses. I will show you how to measure footings, and then your question will be answered there.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you very
Different
much.
thicknesses footings, I will show you how to measure. But if you have, let's say, PCC different one, how to take a copy of this? You can take a copy of this. You can take a
Okay, I got it.
copy,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, I got it. It's
Copy
clear.
dimension group, okay? Yeah, 40. And you change to, you create another one called 50.
Mhm.
Okay? You don't
Okay.
copy the dimension. That means you don't take the previous dimension and you create a new one called PCC. And let's say
Yeah.
this is only 50. I didn't change the 50 here, right? 0.5. Okay. And I change now. Now I'm going to measure this as 50, for example. Only, let's say, small one quickly. Yeah. And that will be 50. Yes, you don't see the figure because it's a small value, 0.14 cubic meters. You can see
Yeah.
when I measure
Yeah.
it, you can see
Yes.
the details already.
Okay, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Now, what I wanted to tell you before I conclude the session today, these dimension groups represent the BOQ items. Whatever item you have to you have to measure from the drawing, you have to create something called dimension group accordingly. So those are the things that you will be putting into the BOQ later on. Understood? Right. So I'll stop here. I'm going to delete this. Right. And otherwise there will be a duplicate. If you want to change the color, if you want, if you don't like this green color, and you can double click on this and you can change the color. That's why I said I will do it later. Right. Let's say avocado. You like avocado. Okay. And update. And that is how you see. And now, okay, with this I will I will conclude. Okay, go to drawing. And if you want to see what you have measured in 3D, you see this. Very nice. That is the beauty of this CostX, you see. This is what you have measured, okay? 100 millimeter thick PCCs. Now, by looking at this, you know whether you have done the correct measurements. So what you did basically, you were here. I'll just click on this. Okay, this is what you see. And you have measured everything. Now you want to see what you have measured in 3D. So go to, okay. We were here because in the dimension group here, and we want to go to drawings and say show me view in 3D. And now you know how to rotate and how to, you can just rotate by mouse. Right, you just click on this, you can rotate it. You can see the plan view from here. You can just keep your mouse locked, not the wheel, right, left, and you can rotate and see thicknesses and everything, whether you have done it correct. Let's say by mistaken you have not taken the thickness as, let's say you have different thicknesses, you can see that. I'll show you how to measure the footings later with different thicknesses. And obviously, you will fall in love with this CostX immediately. Right. That is where I stop today, right? Next time when we meet, we will continue with the footings and the stuff. We'll be measuring everything here, okay? The blue one, the footings, different thicknesses, and the stub columns, different thicknesses, and then tie beam. And then also we will generate a 3D view of what we have measured in CostX. Okay, you will see a 3D view of what you have measured at the end of the day. You can make a 3D of the measurement. It's not that you are creating a 3D because you are not drawing 3D. It's not your job as quantity surveyor. I'm not talking about 3D models here. You can generate a 3D view of your measurements. We are still doing the 2D measurements, okay? Remember, and 3D measurement would be different. There should be a model, 3D model, then we should be able to abstract information or the quantities from that 3D model. That's a different exercise. So I'm still not there. We are just discussing 2D measurements. But still, what I'm trying to say is, from 2D drawings also, we can create 3D visual, 3D models of the measurements. Okay, so I'll discuss all these things as we proceed, maybe in a couple of weeks' time. So next week when we meet, we will start measuring the foundation, the formwork, and all these things. Okay. Right, it's 11:45, so I'll stop here. I think everyone is on the same page. Right, so I'll call it a day, and good night, all of you, and I'll see you next week. Right, take care. Bye for now.
Bye. Good night, sir.
Bye. Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night, sir.
Good night.
Very good night. Most welcome.
Good night.
Very good night.